Yo, what's going on, y'all? What's going on? Welcome back to another video. Welcome back to the channel. We're gonna get straight into it. We're gonna discuss what happened. What happened last night? The Timberwolves stopped the sweep. Um, I still think there's a very high chance for a gentleman sweep, but as of right now, the Timberwolves stopped the sweep. But Anthony, that was another amazing performance. Social media, you could tell social media is really flip flop, flippity wop. After the first game, motherfuckers pretty much call him a damn bust. Uh, and after that, he's put together just fantastic games altogether. So, what this video is about the beginning stages of the Timberwolves Utah trade being the worst trade in NBA history, right? So we're at the beginning stages. In my opinion, it is already at number two. It's already in the top three, I would say. I can't think of a third right now automatically. It's definitely number two. I'm going to talk about number one right now. Number one is still the Brooklyn Nets. We discussed this. The Brooklyn Nets um, trading for Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett and giving away several draft picks to the Boston Celtics. Maybe 3 years, 4 years worth of draft picks. The draft picks are not important. The players that you get from them are important, right? Just like OKC, just like the Pelicans, just like any other team. You can have 1,000 draft picks, but if you never get any good players from them, then the draft means nothing. For instance, um, the Pelicans so far have gotten like Jackson Hayes, Nikhil Alexander Walker, um, those dudes, one is not on the team, one is not even in the rotation anymore. The other trades that they got more recently is Herb Jones and Trey Murphy the third. Those seem to be somewhat valuable picks. We'll see how good those guys get um, to really determine, the true value of trading Anthony Davis. Obviously, the Lakers already won a championship, so it already worked out for the Lakers. Walker Kessler just put on a fantastic season as a rookie. So it's already looking a little bad for Minnesota. We'll see how his career pans out. But Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown already being all stars, already being all NBA players. They've been this for like 2 or 3 years, not at least 3 years. They've already been this. So to me, that's why the Boston trade is still the worst trade of all time. Boston and the Nets, Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, just it was an old man trade. I see what Brooklyn was doing. It just didn't fucking work. Obviously, it's Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce are like fucking 35. Come on, man. Minnesota, right? So I want to talk a little bit about Minnesota. So Minnesota, the franchise, right? This franchise is like a. I've been trying to come up with an NFL comp, and I think the NFL comp is probably somewhere like the Jets. Um, I was thinking maybe Cincinnati, but Cincinnati broke through the threshold, and they went to the Super Bowl a couple years ago. And even Cincinnati, in the 2000s, they were at least competing to get to the playoffs. You know what I mean? They wasn't trash. They had trash quarterbacks, but a good wide receiving core. They kept things together. At least they were tidy. They were just in a division with the Steelers and the Ravens. Um, so I really don't hold that much against Cincinnati. Again, even though they're trash. They was trash and they're good now. So that's why my comp is the Jets. The Jets also, and I just thought about this. The Jets made a pretty ridiculous trade to get Aaron Rodgers, a 4-year quarterback, and we'll see how that pans out. Utah pretty much just gave up Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell in order to start over. Understand that? I would have probably kept Donovan Mitchell. I don't care about his playoff performances. He's a fantastic player. The Minnesota Timberwolves trying to assemble a twin tower sort of team is in 2023 it's not pretty laughable. It's actually very laughable. I'm actually laughing right now. Um, they're awful. Carl Anthony Towns has been a fantastic player. I assume personally he's a good guy. doesn't come off as a bad person. On the court, he's not getting it done. It's just not happening. It wasn't happening before Rudy Gobert got there. That's why they made a ridiculous trade like getting Rudy Gobert. That's why they made a ridiculous trade like bringing in D'Angelo Russell. And I don't think there was a trade. That was a signing. They brought in D'Angelo Russell because he's calling Anthony Towns' friend. He did nothing. They traded him mid-season, and the dog has still not been able to come out of Karl Anthony Towns. So in a lot of ways, I feel like Minnesota went all in on a center because they thought that they were going to lose this center, and if they have a defensive big and Anthony Edwards, at the very least, they got a defensive big and Anthony Edwards. Call Anthony Towns is not a defensive big; he's a fantastic offensive player. But if you're not putting up fantastic offensive performances, then you're a big guy for no reason. So Minnesota still sucks. It is still sitting at number two as the worst trade ever. Also, Rudy Gobert got in a fight and swung on his team, and not swung on, punched his teammate in the chest. On the sideline, last game of the year. That team is hurt now, not because of the punch, just because of regular injury. So the team fell apart because of the person they traded for. Um, the same way his team kind of did in his previous team. So I don't know what's going on. It looks like Minnesota sucks. It looks like they will continue to suck, and it looks like this is on its way to being the worst trade in NBA history. Jesus Christ.